Welcome students. Now we will deal with your unit 3. We will deal with your unit 3 part 2. Right? Previously we have studied regarding your energy efficiency. And next we will be dealing with your methods to reduce the energy usage. How we are going to reduce the energy usage? That will be mostly used in the conventional buildings versus the green buildings. So right, now we will be studying about the building envelope. So see here, what is a green building envelope? A new skin on a a new skin on a old building, a skin that respond to the climate. So right here, a skin on a lead building. A skin here, what we will be using? We will be using the facade. The facade is nothing but the exposure to the means where you will be your front elevation of the and architectural look of the building, that is known as the facade here. The skin that addresses global warming and sustainable design. A priority has been placed above the beyond current trends in sustainable building on reduction of GHG, greenhouse gas emission. Right, building accounts for more than 40% of the greenhouse gases. Here the green, sustainable and high performance buildings are not going far enough, quickly enough in reducing their negative impact on the environment. Carbon neutrality focus on the relationship between all the aspects of buildings and CO2 emission. So see here, before that first we will be studying what is actually a building envelope. What is actually a building envelope? See here, the humans first created shelters to provide thermal comfort and protection from the natural elements and still remains a primary object of the buildings. See here, what is actually a building envelope? The building envelope is a physical separator between the interior and exterior of the building. Physical and exterior of a building. The components of the envelopes are typically walls, floors. It means mostly whatever the partitions you are going to do in your building, the physical separators between the interior and exterior of the building, that is known as the building envelope. So it means whatever the physical partitions will be there, that are known as the building envelope. So components of envelope are typically walls, floors and roofs. The fenestrations and doors. Fenestrations are any opening in the structures like windows, skylights, celery stories, etc. When designing the building envelope, knowing some fundamentals of building material and heat transfer will make you the right trade of the decision. So see here, whenever we will be going, so whenever we are going to construct any building envelopes, means partitions, and how the roofs and walls and how the ventilation purpose and how you are going to place that, all that the heat transmission, heat emission and whatever the gases that will be produced, that should be kept into the consideration. Here the envelope for a climate type. A well designed envelope responds to the local climate. So see here, we have to keep the climate into consideration whenever we are going to construct a building. The summary below shows 4 common extremes that people designed for milder climate can use milder version of these strategies or mix and match. See here, arid climate envelope in Jaipur. Jaipur is in Rajasthan. You people can estimate the temperature in Rajasthan, where it is a desert area. So arid climates are very dry and usually hot, but they often have a large swing to the temperature from day to night. Thus thermal mass on the outside of the building is mostly crucial design strategies to even out such temperature swings for consistently hot location. It also helps to have a high ceiling, shaded breezeways, light colors and day lighting via reflecting light, not direct sun, such as in this audience hall in the Jaipur City Palace. Courtyards with natural ventilations and pools are fountains can provide evaporating cooling as well. So not only in Jaipur, you can see in Telangana or Hyderabad, you people can see the old construction. Most of the old constructions will be like open to the air only. You can see the ventilation, natural ventilations will be there in the old construction. So see here, tropical climate envelope. Tropical climates are hot and humid, therefore keeping the heat of the sun off is the top priority, as well as maximizing the ventilation. Whenever the humidity will be there, you will not be getting a sufficient air. Even if you get the sufficient air, that might not be cool, right? That may be filled with the humid. Whenever air filled with the humid, you will be feeling very heat, right? So a reflecting insulated roof with a wall that pass breeze but not rain is ideal. This traditional new genuine home thick light colored thatched roof keeps out sun heat, while open eaves and porous bamboo slats for walls and floors maximize natural ventilation. The materials are all low mass to avoid condensation and mold growth, which can happen with a high mass materials in humid climates. So right, next one is the cold climate envelope. In India, we will not be facing this. Only in Kashmir you will be facing this type of condition, right? Because here you people can see the falling of snow here. Cold climates have been more heating degrees says than cooling degrees days. The maximizing insulation is the key to keep warm, as well as using windows for solar gains. Here what we are using here in the cold climate, we are using the solar gains on thermal mass inside the building envelope, not outside as in arid climates. In arid climates you will be having a dry, right? For that we will be using outside to cool the air, and that after cooling that will enter inside. So part of having effective insulation in cold climates is an airtight envelope, avoiding infiltrations. These finished cabins have very few and very small windows except on the south side to maximize solar gain while minimizing losses elsewhere. Before modern insulation, thick solid log walls such as these provide better insulation than the board walls could. Right here, vernacular design cabin in Finland. Mixed cold or hot climate envelope. Here many temperature inland climates. See here, these are all the case studies. So I have taken the PPTs directly, whatever the case studies are there, which are for the explanation. I have prepared the slides, right? Many temperature inland climates actually have two extremes: cold in winter, hot and humid in summer. Flexibility is the key to design for these climates. Here you can see the Aldo Leopard Center in Wisconsin, first building to be LEED certification as a carbon neutral, uses deep overhang to allow low winter sun in through the windows to heat up a high mass concrete slab inside while blocking high summer sun. It also uses a light roof and darker walls to repel summer sun but absorb the winter sun. Extra insulation retains heat in winter but operable windows passively cool it in the summer. So right here, envelope energy flows. So envelope energy flows means what we are going to consider here from an energy flow perspective. The envelope is the composition of layer with varying thermal and permeable properties. The envelope may be composed of member sheets, blocks and permissible components. The choice of So here what we will be taking, whatever the frames and whatever the glasses and whatever the windows you will be using, that should be consuming the less heat, right? In harsh climates, the designer frequently conceals the building envelope as a closed shell and proceeds to select a punch holes in it and make limited and special contacts with the outdoors. This may also true where unwanted. So right, this here the energy efficiency here, when compared to the other states, our Telangana will be having the normal temperature all the time compared with the other, because here we will be having a normal climate over here. Compared to the other, we will be having all the three climates and we will be getting the this one. In Telangana, whatever the construction we will be doing, we should keep the three seasons into the consideration and we have to do here. See here, from here it is very important. Wall, understanding and optimizing the heat transfer through the wall is more important in high performance building design. So see here, normally when we are going to use the red bricks here, in that for in Telangana, most of the people, most 90% people, they will not be using the thermal masses and insulation to take the advantage with passive design strategies, because here we will not be using this type of strategies. This type of strategies can be used in the green building. Here we are just talking about the conventional buildings. See here, the insulation, the thermal insulation is a material that blocks or slow the flow of heat through the building envelope. Building envelope is nothing but the separation between from one to another. The insulation is vital most green building design, because it allows space to retain what heat they have while avoid gaining excessive heat from the outside. So see here, if we are allowing the heat from the outside, then there will be no difference between the conventional building and the green building. So in green building, what we will be doing, we will be taking the thermal insulation inside, because of the hot air which is present outside, that could not be entered inside. So the whatever the hot air is present inside, that may be cooled and allowed to enter as a cooled air. So total R values, see here, whenever you are going for this thermal insulations and this one, that should satisfy the R values and U values, right? R values and U values here. So whatever the heat emission will be there, for that R and U values will be defining. So see here, in order to know the building's true thermal performance, you must calculate overall R values, radiation values for assembles like walls, roofs, floors and glazing. The total R value or overall R values of an insulated assembly may be higher or lower than the R value of the insulation depending on the assembling construction. The thermal bridging is when the overall R value is lower than the insulation of R value. That R values will be given, the R values will be given by the code books. So see here, insulation, you can see uninsulated house and this is insulated house. Then there, what is the difference between insulated and uninsulated? You can see here. It is more important to understand heat energy flows in a building to understand insulation. Insulation primarily designed to prevent the heat transfer from the conduction and radiation, right? This is the normal building which you can see where we did not do any thermal insulation. Here you can see the thermal insulation, right? There is the difference. So right here the convection and insulation, here you can see here by using the wooden blocks here, whatever where they are doing the thermal insulations here. So right, hot roof, solar, cooled roof, here you can see. form factor and installation in form of bads or continuous rolls that are hand cut or trimmed to fit stuffed into spaces between studs and joints. Studs and joints, you can see this in a circular this one, right? Circular pipes and circular hand cut trims to fit form of bads or continuous rolls. In that you can see this one. The material, the fiberglass is manufactured from sand and recycled glass and mineral fiber using rock wool, is made up of basaltic rock or recycled material from the steel mill wastes. So no need of all this, right? Commonly and easy to install, available in widths suited to a standard spacing of wall, studs, ceiling and floor joist. Batting or blankets. Batting or the blankets, here you people can see, right? Next one is foamed in a place. Next one, reflective. These are all the installations which we will be doing, insulations in your house for avoiding the hot air to enter inside. Next one is the rigid board, movable insulation, warm air, and that will be making the warm air into the cool air immediately after entering this. Here closed corners, warm air stopped here itself, right? Total R values and thermal bridging. Total R values and thermal bridging. Buildings are rarely built of a single material, so to determine the total R values you need to factor in. So right, for high performance building you usually want high R values. So for good insulation, here in the picture you can see the clear values. Q is equal to Ka delta by L. This you will be using in the confined aquifers, right? This formula you will be using the level of the water. So here in insulation also you will be using this one. When materials are sandwiched together perpendicular to the direction of heat flow, it is called adding in series. An example, this is a cavity brick wall with 2 layers of bricks, an air gap and half inch here 1.2 centimeters of plaster board in all rows. Here you people can see it. Resistance from air frames and air spaces. Air frame and air spaces, see here. These are all the insulation. Here you can see whatever the surface and whatever the stationery which you have insulated here, air speed, and it will be reaching to some temperature and it starts cool down here. Air velocities are near zero at the surface of an object. This insulating layer of air attaches itself to the surface is an air film. So right here the thermal bridging and thermal breaks. You can see here the thermal bridging and thermal breaks. A thermal bridge is an unwanted path for heat flow that bypasses the main insulation of a building envelope. The main insulation means whatever the separations and the outer appearance of the whatever the facades of the building will be there. At that moment we have to insulate the thermals. At that moment whatever the higher R values and low ultraviolet values will not allow the hot air inside the building. So right, placing a good conductor in a parallel with good insulation is often referred to as thermal bridging because it provides a path for heat flow that bypasses the main insulation. So right, metal windows frame often create thermal bridges around well insulated windows. Here you can see the glass which you have insulated here. Here you will be having a window frame and here you will be having the wall here. Whenever the insulation for high performance building, high performance wall, you should have the high R values and you should have the low U values here. So right, here you can see the glazed one. Right, the thermal break is when an assembly that would normally be a thermal bridge is broken up into the separate pieces that are isolated by more insulative material assembles like this is called thermal broken. The thermally improved assembly to do the same thing but with less thermal breakage. Here you people can see the glazed parts in which the glass, the window frame, the thermally broken window frame, you can see it clearly here. Framing factor. So right, this is the case study. Why I am using the case studies means, instead of telling you directly, if I go for the case studies, you will be able to understand. So for that I am using all the case studies here. Next one is a framing factor, the extent to which a wall, roof or floor framing reduces the R value of its insulation. It is called framing factor. It is simply a percentage reduction in R value. For instance, a wall with R20 insulation and a framing factor of 25% would have overall insulation value that will be R15. So right, most heat loss and less heat loss. Right, infrared photograph of a house showing good insulation defeated by thermal bridging in the framing. So right here the picture of windows also you can see here. So right, this type of windows we have to use. And next one is the glazing property. Good glazing properties are important because they control the amount of daylight, quality of light and amount of solar heat gain let into the building. Along with other factors, they are much determined to the thermal comfort. So right, in the three of the most important properties of the materials are coating and construction and that make up windows, skylights, translucent panels and other products used to let the sunlight into the building include thermal conductance. You will be having under thermal conductance U value, solar heat gain coefficient. So right, solar heat gain coefficient, that too we will be using in the green buildings. Visible light transmittance. Here you can see the high performance windows here. Selective transmission fields. Here you can see if improper construction will be done, the sunlight will be directly entering, that will be ultraviolet rays and that will be leads to the long wave ultraviolet rays and infrared rays. So see here, the spectrally selective windows can block certain wavelength of the light. The film admit most of the income solar radiation in both the visible and near infrared wavelengths. Right, warm within a room and emit far infrareds means long waves radiation. This long wave radiation is reflected back into the room by selective film. Spectrally selective windows can block certain wavelengths of the light. Here what we are taking, windows wall ratio will be equal to net glazing area by gross wall area. This we will be using in our conventional buildings also for the proper ventilation. The difference windows to wall ratio and the resulting illumination. So here you can see the picture. Infiltration causes surprisingly large heat loss because unwanted moisture, latent heat often must be removed from the air. Right? Shading and redirecting the sunlight here. Shading is important set of strategies for visual comforts and thermal comforts, as such as successful shadings is measured by overall success of the visual and thermal comfort. So right, redirecting of sunlight. that wherever we are using the solar panels here, that so right here we have used all the R values and U values, and mostly you have used the we have used the methods of reducing the energy loss, reducing the energy usage by whatever the lighting and whatever the purposes, means building envelope, how you are going to design, how you are going to design, how the thermal insulation can be done, and when a proper thermal insulation can't be done, how the energy can be saved, that we have seen in this case study. Right, here you can see the framing factor. By framing the factor, here the R values will be changing from one to another. Right, for instance, a wall with R20 insulation and a framing factor of 25% would have an overall insulation value of R15. So here you can see here the picture of the building, infrared photograph of a house showing good insulation defeated by thermal bridging in a framing. The same thing here we have seen thermal breaks, the thermal broken window frame. For example, many metals windows frames are broken up so that one piece of metal faces the outside of the building and a separate piece of metal faces inside of the building, and in between are the pieces of rigid plastic. The plastic is not as good and good insulator as proper insulation, so some thermal bridging will still occur, but the plastic is more structural than the insulation could be. Right, whenever if you are using the plastic things, the heat will be more. So right, I hope you have understood about this building envelope, what are the thermal insulation, and right, here you can see it clearly, uninsulated house and insulated house here. Right, next one, total R values and bridging. I hope you have understood here clearly. First we will check this conventional building, how to make a building more energy effective. An energy efficient building reduces maintenance and utility cost, but in many cases improves durability, lesser noise, increases comfort, and this. So here when you are taking the consideration, when you are taking the building envelope into the consideration, at that moment you have to take this ventilations and roofing, wall painting, and this all you have to take it into the consideration. See here, to create an energy efficient concrete structure, utilize concrete wall system with integral insulation made of expanded polystyrene insulation or other insulating forms. So what they are telling here, to create energy efficient concrete structure, what you have to use, you have to use the polystyrene insulation or insulating foams. I hope in nowadays whatever the concrete structures are there, even they are also getting the thermal insulation. Right, for concrete construction, apply an air and moisture barrier to the, even though the concrete structure will be producing more heat whenever the sun is directly falling on a top floor. Right, so here ventilation problem, heat and cooling systems, energy efficient building, cooling, heating and water heating account for the largest energy expenses in homes and commercial building. Incorporating energy efficient measures into the buildings heating and cooling systems are essentially creating a efficient structure. So right here, whenever we are taking building envelope into the consideration, at that moment we need to take care of the how the hot, because here we are for green buildings, what we are considering, we are using natural sources and we are making the what we are doing, we are consuming the less energy. So for consuming that less energy, we have to use the natural sources. So automatically, for that purpose, what we are doing, whatever the walls, roofs which we are constructing, that should be thermally insulated. So thermally insulated means whatever the hot air you will be getting from the outside, that hot air will be taken and that will be made cool and that will be sent inside into the building. So right, so that considerations we have to take, right? In that you will be having a R values, U values, right? For high performance buildings, we need to take the high R values into the consideration. So right, I hope you people have understood this one. In the next class, we will study about the zero net buildings. Right? Thank you so much, everyone. In the next class, we will study regarding this one, high efficiency renewable energy sources for energy efficient building. Next we will study this one, right? Other ways to make building more energy efficient. And first, mostly we will be studying about green buildings and ozone depletion, and next one we will be studying about a zero energy building, is also known as zero net energy. This is the more important topic in your third unit. This we will be studying in the next unit. Thank you so much, everyone.